Today I'm going to talk about how to use widgets in WordPress. Widgets are actually plugins that are built into either WordPress or your theme or with another plugin, and they allow you to add features to any of the widget areas on your site. Today I'm going to be working with the default WordPress theme here, and there's actually 4 widget areas in this theme. You actually have your sidebar widget area here, and then you also have footer widgets at the bottom. Let's see if I can scroll down to show you those. There's actually a footer widget area, and there's 3 of them, the left, middle, and right. So we're going to be working with those today. So widgets are little entities that you can actually drag and drop to any of these widget areas. And the way you do that is in your dashboard. So I'm going to switch over to the dashboard. Then we're going to go down the dashboard menus under Appearance, and under the Appearance menu, there's an item here that says Widgets. So if I click on Widgets, this shows me first all the available widgets that I have here in this top panel here, the available widgets. And these are the widgets that come built into WordPress, with the exception of the last one, which is a theme widget. But all the rest are the basic WordPress widgets you have. You also have some other panels down here. One of them is for an inactive sidebar, and the last one's for inactive widgets. And we'll cover that in just a minute on how you can use inactive widgets. But for now, we're going to work on the available widgets that you have that you can drag and drop into any widget area on your site. So let's start with probably the one that's used the most often, and probably the most popular widget available, and that's the basic text widget. And you'll see here, there's in the available widgets, there's a little item here that says text. And we're going to add this to our main sidebar. And you just drag it and drop it into the widget area you want to use. So I'm just going to drag it over to the main sidebar. And you'll see when I do that, it opens up. And you can open and close these widgets by using the little arrow on the right. So I can close it and then open it back up. So I'm going to start by typing some text in this text widget. I'm just going to say About Us. Okay. Now I'm going to put a line break in here by hitting my Enter key on my keyboard, and then I'm going to add some more text. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click the blue Save button, and then we're going to look at it in the front end of our site. Let's switch back over to the front end, and we're going to refresh. Okay, now here's the text widget we just added. Here's the title we added, About Us. And here's the text we added. And you'll notice that line break that I put in that text is not showing up here. It's just running all the text together. And there is a checkbox in this widget I want to make you aware of. We'll respect those line breaks that you put in your text. So let's go back to that widget. And you'll see there's a checkbox down here, Automatically Add Paragraphs. I'm going to check that box. Click Save. Now I'm going to refresh the front end of my site. And you'll see now it added that line break that I had put there in my text. So if you're putting in multiple paragraphs, you want to make sure you have that little checkbox checked so it will respect the line breaks that you put in your text. Now, you don't really need any code experience or expertise to work with widgets, but text widgets do allow some what's called HTML tags to allow you to format that text. So I'm going to briefly cover a couple of them right now that are simple and easy to use. So we're going to go back to this text widget, and we're going to make this second paragraph bold. And you do that by adding opening and closing HTML tag. And for bold, you use the word strong, and you use angle brackets. So I'm going to go put an angle bracket here, or the less than signal. Put strong at the beginning, and then for the closing tag, less than, then / strong, and put the closing bracket here. Now we're going to save this again. Go back to the front of our site, refresh it, and you'll see now that that second sentence where I added those strong tags is now bold. Now the second HTML tag I want to show you that you probably want to use is the center tag. And this allows you to center text or any other item you put into a text widget. So say we want this text centered. I'm going to put another tag in there. Just put center. And I'm going to put the closing tag with the / and save div. And I'm going to go back to the front of my site and refresh it. And you'll see now it's centered that second paragraph of text there where we put the center tags. These are the two most common tags that are used in text widgets, so I wanted to show you those today. But you can also add other things in a text widget other than plain text. And this comes in handy if you've got some embed codes, say from your IDX or from a video or something else that you want to add to your sidebar of any of your widget areas. So we're going to drag another text widget over here. I'm going to close this one by clicking on the little close link. I'm going to drag another text widget here. And I'm going to put in some embed code from my IDX. So I'm going to go to IDX Broker, switch over that tab, and IDX Broker offers these iPhone and iPad apps and gives you the embed code when you log into IDX Broker when you go to mobile, iPhone, iPad. So I'm going to drop one of these into that sidebar using this embed code. And you'll see below each one of these, it's got the code here in red. I'm going to just copy that. I'm going to go back to my text widget. I'm going to paste it. And then I'm going to save that text widget. Now if we go back to the front of our site and refresh, you'll see now I've added that iPad app here in my sidebar just by copying and pasting that code into this text widget. So this makes text widgets very versatile, and they're probably the most used widget that you have. So let's go back to our widget areas, and let's go through some of the basic widgets that come with WordPress. Your site probably has a lot of other widgets because some of your plugins will add widgets, and your theme is based on the Genesis framework. Most of the sites we do now at Agent Evolution are built on Genesis. And Genesis adds its own set of widgets, and we will cover those in a later webinar. But for today, I'm just going to focus on the basic WordPress widgets that you have available. So let's start with the very first one here for archives. I'm going to take this one, and I'm going to put this in one of the other widget areas I have here. And you'll see this is my footer area 1, footer area 2, and footer area 3 widget areas. I'm going to open up the first one here for footer area 1. And I'm going to drag this archive widget here. And what the archive widget does is it displays a list of your posts by month or year. So I'm going to put from our blog and save this archive widget. Now if we go back to the front of the site and refresh, and go down to that footer area, you'll see this is the widget I added where it says from our blog, and it's listing the posts we have. All the posts we have right now are from December 2011, but as you add more posts, over time you will build up additional links. Like if I added a new post today, it would be January 2012, And it gives you like a month and year archive of all your past posts that you can display in any of the widget area on your site. So let's go back to some of the other available widgets we have. We have a calendar widget, which does sort of the same thing, but displays a calendar of your site's posts. So I'm going to drag this into footer area 2. And again, I can put from our blog, save this, go back to the front of the site. And you'll see it does the same thing. It displays your post by month and year. So if I were to switch this back to December, you'll see that I have posts from December 29th. And it highlights the date in the calendar that you had post from. Okay, let's go back to our widgets. Let's close this calendar widget. Now say I've got a widget and I don't want to use it right now, but I may want to use it later. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this calendar widget, and instead of dragging it back to the available widgets, which drops all of our settings, we can actually put it over in this bottom panel for the inactive widgets here. And this will save all the settings we put into our widget. This is particularly handy if you've got a text widget, if you've got some custom text in there and you want to save that for later, but you don't want to use it right now. You can drag that widget into inactive widgets, and it saves all of that information and all that text that you put in. Okay, the next widget is the categories widget. I'm going to drag this into footer area 2. I'm just going to label it, give it a heading of categories here, and save that. And what this does is it displays links by categories of your post. So if I were to go back to the front of our site, you'll see now we have categories here. I've just got one category for my post, which is blog. But as you add categories, that list will lengthen with all the categories you've got from your post. So let's go back to our widgets. The next one is a custom menu. This allows you to create a custom menu using WordPress. It can be, pages or posts, and you can add it to any of the widget areas on your site. So I'm going to create a custom menu briefly here, just a quick one, by going under Appearance to Menus. I'm going to create a new menu. I'm going to call this my sidebar menu. And then I'm going to add pages and categories to this menu. So I can go over here to the left. I can check my Dublin page, my Pleasanton page, my sample page. Add that to the menu. I can also add my blog category, add that to the menu. So now I'm going to save this menu. So now I have a custom menu that I can put in my sidebar. So if we go back to the widgets and drag this custom menu widget over to the sidebar, okay, here's this custom menu widget. I'm going to give it a title. And you'll see there's a drop down to select which menu you want to use. The default menu is our main navigation menu, but I'm going to pull this down. Well, it's not showing up there. Let's try this again. Refresh this. Let's drag it back again. There we go. There's our sidebar menu. browse our site. And then we select the sidebar menu we just created and save that. Now if we go back to the front of our site and refresh, see, we now have a custom navigation menu in our sidebar to browse our site with our pages and our categories. So you can create any kind of custom menu you want in any of your widget areas just by creating the menu and then using that custom menu widget. Let's go back to our widgets again, and we'll go to the next item, which is links. Now, links allows you to set up a collection of links possibly to other sites. By default, WordPress comes with one called Blog Roll. We're going to create a new one. So let's start by creating that new link category and those links. So I'm going to go back to the dashboard again, and I'm going to create a new set of links. And you'll notice in your dashboard menus, under media, there's a category, there's a menu item that says links. And in that links menu, it's got all links, add new, and link categories. I'm going to create a new category. And I'm going to call this Community Resources. And then I'm going to add this new link category. And you'll see now the default WordPress one is called Blog Roll, and the one we just created is called Community Resources. So now we need to add some links to that. So under links, we're going to add a new link. And we're going to put Pleasanton Chamber of Commerce. Okay. Now we need the web address for this link we're putting in. So we're going to go and we're going to find the Pleasanton Chamber of Commerce. And see, we just copy this link address from our browser. And we're going to put it here where we're adding a new link. Paste it right here. Okay. Now once we've done that, we've got to select the category we want it put in. We're going to put it in our new Community Resources category. And then we're going to click Add Link. Okay. Now that we've done that, we're going to go back to our widgets. Now let's refresh this again. And we're going to drag that links widget into our main sidebar. And then you have the drop-down menu here where it has all links, our blog roll, our community resources. We're creating a new category called Community Resources. We're going to select that. Then we're going to just save it. Now we can go back to the front of our site again and refresh. And you'll see now here's our community resources with a link to the Pleasanton Chamber of Commerce. So you can have a collection of links just like this for community resources or whatever you want, or other sites you may have. So this is what you use this link widget for. Okay, so now let's go to the next one, which is Meta widget. This adds quick links to log in and log out into your admin area. We can drag that briefly into our footer area 3 so you can see what it adds. Let's drag it over here to footer area 3. Save that. Then refresh the front of our site. And you'll see here the meta automatically adds a link to your site admin to log out, entries RSS, your comments RSS feed, and a link to WordPress.org. Most people don't like to use this because it adds these additional links you may not want. So this is where either the custom menu link comes in better if you want quick access to certain areas on your site rather than use meta. And most sites have the login link in the bottom right that we do anyway. So let's go back to our widgets. And you have a basic pages widget. We're going to go ahead and drag this over into our sidebar. And what this does is it lists all the pages on your site and sorts them by page title, and you can exclude certain pages here. Genesis actually has a better pages widget than the default WordPress one, and we'll cover that in a later webinar, but this is the basic pages widget here. So we're going to go ahead and save this. Now if we go back to the front of our site and refresh, you'll see now it added the 3 pages that we have on our site here under this pages widget. So let's go back to our widgets. You have a widget for recent comments. If you want links to all the comments from your posts, you can just drag this widget. So I'm going to, in our footer 3, I'm going to remove this meta and add recent comments. And you can select how many comments you want to show just by editing this number here and save this. We go back to the front of our site and refresh. And see, we have 1 comment. So it's under recent comments, it's showing this 1 comment we have on our site right now. Okay, let's go back to widgets and let's go to the next one, which is recent post. If you want a list of all your recent posts, you can just drag this widget. I'm going to put it here in footer area 3 just below my comments. And I'm just going to title it Recent Post. And select the number I want to show. And again, Genesis has a much better one for this, but this is the basic WordPress recent post. Let's go back to the front and refresh. And you'll see here's the widget we added showing our recent posts. There's only 3 posts in this site, but it has links directly to them. So if a visitor wanted to click on one of them, they can be taken directly to the post. Okay, so let's go back to the next widget. Our next widget is what's called an RSS widget, and this allows you to feed in content from another site with links to that site. There are very few times when you want to use that, but occasionally there may be some content you want to showcase on your site. For the purpose of this demonstration, I'm going to use the a Wall Street Journal RSS feed. Okay, so I'm going to go to grab that RSS feed. So let's go to the real estate news on the Wall Street Journal. Okay, let's see if I can find that again. Okay, under tools and formats. Now this will be located in different areas of different sites, but you look for the little icon that looks like this. Most of the time it's orange. It could be a different color, but this is what it looks like. So if I click on RSS feeds, you know, you've got this little icon that looks like a broadcasting with a dot and several little lines. So let's go to Wall Street Journal blogs, and let's say let's pick the health RSS. Okay, so this is the RSS feed for the Wall Street Journal. So I'm going to copy this feed address, and I'm going to go back to my widget where I'm adding that RSS feed, and I'm going to paste that here. And I'm going to give it a title and just call it Health News. Then you select how many items you want to show. And then you have some other options, whether you want to display the content, display the author, or the date. You can select those if you wish to show that, but I'm going to leave those unchecked for now and just save. Now if we go back to the front of our site and refresh, and you'll see now under the RSS widget, we've got health news, and it's showing the 5 most recent articles on the Wall Street Journal for these health news. And visitors can click on that and go look at these articles. And there may be some local site that has some local news you want to pull into your sidebar or any of your widget areas. You just go look for that RSS feed on that site and copy that URL and just add it to that RSS widget. So let's go back to our widgets and go to the next one, which is a basic search widget. If you want to be able to add search capabilities to your site, you can just drag this search widget. I'm going to put it in our main sidebar at the very top and give it a title, Search Our Site, and save that. Now if I go back to the front of our site and refresh, and there's the basic search here, so that visitors can search your site for specific types of content, by keyword. Now let's go back to our widgets. The next item is what's called a tag cloud. If you're using tags in your post, this will display the most popular tags that are used on your blog post. So I'm going to drag this to the bottom of our sidebar here. And I'm just going to call it Popular Topics. And save this. Now when I do that, if we go back to the front of our site and refresh, you'll see it displays what's called a tag cloud of the most popular tags that our posts are in. And right here, you'll see under Popular Topics, the most popular tag that I've used for the post here is blog. I've got one for sample and one that says world, but the most popular topic is blog, and it resizes that tag to match the popularity. In other words, the blog tag is used the most often, so it will be the biggest. The other 2 tags, I only used them once, so they show up small. So it creates what's called a cloud of the tags that you use on your blog post. Okay, let's go back to our widgets. We've already covered our text widget. And like I said, the 2011 widget here is specific to this theme, and your theme may have some specific widgets, particularly the Genesis widget. Genesis includes a lot of widgets. Some supersede the WordPress widgets and give you a lot more features, and we'll cover that in a later webinar. But you have plugins that add widgets. Your IDX will add widgets, and it makes it simple to just drag and drop these items into any widget area on your site. Your site may have a number of widget areas, particularly the Agent Press, where the entire home page are widget areas where you can drag and drop different widget items. And like I said, if you've got something you want to save, something you've already set up, say like the RSS, and you don't want to use it now because it's taking up too much room, but you may want to use it later, you just drag that to the Inactive Widgets panel down here at the bottom, and it will save all your settings, all that URL and the title and everything you already put in.